90.9 FM, Farmington. This program is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, who's expanding its services to offer low-cost blood screenings all year round, now offering walk-in convenience to get the blood tests you want when you want them. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, is available in Farmington at the hospital's laboratory and the Outpatient Diagnostic Center on 30th Street. Also in Aztec at San Juan Health Partners Family Medicine at 120 Llanos Street. With nearly 20 tests available, there's an option for everyone. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, a wellness service of San Juan Regional Medical Center. 11 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday morning, January the 15th. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM and 90.9 HD. We're the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners, broadcasting from San Juan College. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. A special good morning and welcome to our viewers who are watching our visual radio program from our Studio A here at San Juan College on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. Coming up in just a moment, my guests here in the studio are from Aztec Schools. We'll be talking about the Mill Levy election that is coming up very soon. You may have already gotten your ballot in the mail if you live in the Aztec School District. Some more details about that coming up in a moment. We'll also be talking about some of the elementary school principals from the Aztec School District. So stay tuned for that conversation around 8:30 this morning here on KSJE. Later on this hour, as we do on Tuesdays, we will take a trip to the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter. We will show you some of the animals available for adoption this week if you're watching our live stream on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. And then don't forget, 9 a.m., it's Roving with the Arts. Mick Hess will be here continuing his series on Haydn symphonies. He is playing all of the great Haydn symphonies in order for us. And today, this week, we're up to Haydn Symphony number 89 and 90. So that is coming up this morning at 9 a.m. right here on KSJE. And a reminder, you can always check out our programming schedule by going to our website at ksje.com. That's also where you'll find our regional events calendar and a couple of events that are going on that we want to point out to you as we show them to you on our streaming video this morning, including a class at San Juan Regional Medical Center, Freedom from Smoking, also a Matter of Balance class coming up. Next week here at San Juan College is Martin Luther King Week. We have a social justice open mic event on January 22nd. That and much more. You'll see more of that on our website at ksje.com. Dance night at the Farmington Civic Center on January 18th. The gardening class at the Sycamore Park Community Center, January 19th. The Moonlight Walk at the Riverside Nature Center on January 19th as well. And the Martin Luther King Day of Service happening on Monday, January 21st, Martin Luther King Day. There's lots of volunteer opportunities available in that event as well. So we hope you'll check that out, our regional events calendar at ksje.com. Now let me turn to my guests who are here with me this morning in the studio. Once again from the Aztec School District, Deputy Superintendent Tanya Prokop is here. Good morning once again.
Good morning, Scott, and Happy New Year.
Same to you. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, appreciate the opportunity.
Good to have you here. And also a new guest to the program this morning. Evelyn Garcia is here. She's the Finance Director for Aztec Schools. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here as well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And Tanya Prokop, let's start with you and talking a little bit about this Mill Levy election that is coming up, and a little bit different because this is a mail-in ballot this time for Aztec Schools and some other school districts.
Absolutely. That's why I brought Evelyn today. She can speak to it best because it's really a lot that's in her world. I think the way that I'd like to lead into it is just kind of a simple look at how schools get money and the types of money that they get.
Sure.
It can be really complicated from other organizations. School districts get, the way that I visualize it, are buckets. And so there's different buckets of money. We wish that was really what it looked like.
Right.
So, and the different buckets of money can be used for different things. So one of the buckets of money is operational. Operational can be used for a lot of different things. That's where you'll see a lot of teacher salaries come out of, salaries for a lot of people in the school district, and just paying a lot of bills through operational funds. Then we have what is going out for a vote right now, which are mill levy funds.
And let me just, don't mean to interrupt you, but
That's okay.
let me just make the point that operational funds can only be used for certain things. They cannot
Right.
be used for other things.
Correct. And there's restrictions with all these different buckets. So
Buckets.
thank you for helping with that. Right. So the mill levy that's going out for vote right now, that money cannot be used for salaries. And the best way that for me to visualize what that bucket of money can be used for is if you visualize a student that comes to school. And the minute that they walk through the doors, they might wipe their feet on a welcome mat. That welcome mat is bought with mill levy money.
Okay.
That welcome mat has to get vacuumed. Vacuum bags, that's bought with mill levy funds. So if we don't have to use operational funds for those items, that saves more of those operational funds, say, for salaries. So that student continues through the doors of a school. They walk into their classroom. There are desks in that classroom. Those desks are purchased with mill levy funds. The student sits down at the desk, maybe has to sharpen their pencil, that pencil sharpener. Maybe the teacher bought these pencils and a variety of school supplies. Some kids bring school supplies, but maybe the teacher used some school money to buy some of those school supplies. Those would be bought with mill levy.
Okay.
As a student progresses through the day, maybe they're using the restroom. Toilet paper, paper towels, the soap dispensers get filled with soap. Those items are bought with mill levy funds. Custodians clean our schools, our campuses, all the different parts. All of their cleaning supplies will come out of that mill levy. Certain school equipment, such as microscopes at the high school or at the middle school for our science labs, those kind of things would come out of mill levy funds. There might be certain instruments in our band and choir classrooms. Those kind of things would come out of the mill levy funds.
I see.
So I'm just trying to paint this picture
Sure.
of how that bucket of money affects a student's education every day.
And I guess it seems like it would be in other classes as well. You talked about, I mean, we can go on for hours about all the
absolutely.
things that this could pay for, but art supplies, I suppose, would be part of that. Some of your technology, I guess,
Absolutely.
is part of this as well. So we know how much computers play an important role in education these days. Is that part of what you're talking about?
Absolutely, and as we're trying to work more towards a one-on-one with laptops and with students, the funds out of that mill levy bucket would help displace some of the funds that we wouldn't have to use in some of the other buckets per se.
Right. And the infrastructure, I suppose, too, the Wi-Fi, the networks, those types of things, too. Is that a mill levy expense as well? Evelyn Garcia?
Yes, it is. It is used for that as well. And then another key thing that mill levy is used for is for safety improvements. And safety is a big issue right now for us, and mill levy is used for that quite a bit. But like as Tanya was saying,
And how did she do? Did she explain it pretty well?
Yes,
Okay,
very
all right,
well,
good.
very well.
I'll give you a gold star, which would be bought out of mill levy.
I see. Right.
And mill levy is confusing. I can understand going out there and trying to figure this out because of where it comes from and how the revenue is sourced from that. So it does become confusing. So we're trying to just communicate what the impact is to the community and just trying to be clear about it. We've been posting information on Facebook and, of course, on our website, and we'll be doing that daily. One of the things that is unique to Aztec is that we are the only district back in 2011-2012 that the 2 mill failed. And unfortunately, we had to compromise and agree to a 1.886 mill levy back in 2011-2012.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what we're trying to do now is bring it back to the 2. And that's where some of the confusion is coming in, because people are misunderstanding and thinking that it's going to be just a $2 mill levy, where the vote is going to be to approve the difference. So there is a slight increase from the 1.886, but we want to get back to the 2.
I see. And that's, again, sometimes folks are just, it's hard to maybe understand what that means, and we don't talk about mills too often, except in situations like this, it seems. And so this is a property tax measurement. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, it is. So the tax is imposed on the assessed value of the property homes. So, for example, a house of $150,000, the tax implication on that will be about $6, give or take a few, and that's the annual.
A year.
A year, yes, that would be the annual difference that is estimated.
Okay, and to me that doesn't seem like a lot of money. I mean, I understand folks are on fixed incomes and every dollar counts, and I can certainly understand a lot of folks' concerns about tax increases and things like that, but $6 over a year, that's 50 cents a month if my math is correct at this early hour.
Yes, it sounds about right.
Okay. So, again, that seems something pretty affordable for most folks, and again, we understand, but and there are some folks that are just very anti any tax increase any time, but for all the good things that this money does in the district that Ms. Prokop has just kind of talked about, it seems like it's very important to be able to...
It's imperative, for sure. Unfortunately, without mill money, it's very hard for a district to operate. It provides for so many things that are sometimes behind the scenes, and people forget about that. When you go to a basketball game and you see the gym floor is nice and clean, or it's kept up to maintenance, well, mill money pays for a lot of that. The football fields, maintaining all of those, the parking lots. So it's a behind-the-scene type of funding that we need, but it's very necessary, and it would be extremely difficult to operate without it.
And you mentioned some events there that I think is important because it impacts folks that don't necessarily have students going to Aztec schools, but if I'm a community member and I'm going to a football game or a basketball game or a concert even, I would see the results of this election because of the facilities and the amenities, or not even amenities, but the toilet paper and the paper towels and the things that I would want to use if I was coming onto the campus.
Correct, and just cutting the weeds and maintaining the lawns and all of that. So it's imperative, and it is very important, and we just hope that people get out there and participate with this ballot.
Right. And we mentioned it is a mail-in ballot, and that's something that we haven't seen, I don't think, before.
No, it's a special election, and it has to do with the legislation that was passed, and it's a special special election, and this is due February 5th in the county clerk's office by 7 p.m. The last day to mail in the ballot is January 31st. If the ballots are mailed any later than that, they won't get to the county clerk's office in time. So if you haven't completed your ballot after January 31st, we recommend that you walk it or take it to the county clerk's office.
The clerk's office there in Aztec,
yes.
So it's not that big of a drive for many folks. But, and again, this is open to all members of the Aztec School District, which, of course, expands beyond the city limits. And so folks living up 550 and out at Navajo Dam and all these other places where Aztec School District would get these ballots in the mail.
Yes, and it does include a postage paid return envelope, so they don't have to worry about finding a stamp or anything. Just complete the ballot, put it back in the envelope provided, and drop it in the mail. And is
it just the one question on the ballot?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
And we're filling in the bubble. Is that what we're doing? I haven't seen an example.
I have not either. I read what the elections, what the question was, but I didn't scroll all the way to the bottom to see if it was fill in the bubble or mark the box.
Or just make an X or whatever. But I'm sure the instructions are very clear on how to do that. Tanya Prokop, again, this provides funds for the school district, and I guess if you don't get these funds, then the district has to figure out how to pay for some of these things out of your general fund, if you can.
Yeah, I think then business starts looking differently.
Right.
And
business and budgets, I suppose.
Yeah, and we always work so hard to try to keep these kind of effects farthest from the classroom, but eventually it snowballs down, and we really try to work for that not to happen because we're in the business of kids, and so we would work really hard to try to displace some of those budgetary items where we could in some of the other buckets, try to take, but you know, I think of my own personal home budget. If I have to rob Peter to pay Paul, then eventually it catches up, and some things we have to go without that we just can't anymore. And so then you have to triage, you have to renumber the priority list of what are we going to do and what can't we do. So it's a ripple effect, and it would really affect how we do business and what kids have opportunities to have and to do at a certain point.
Sure.
I do want to say that Aztec community, I mean, I've been there for 31 years, and they're fabulous. They really do support the schools. All of our schools are pretty much neighborhood schools. You'll be listening to our elementary principals soon, and all three of those elementaries are neighborhood schools. And when Evelyn talked about weed removal, you know, our campuses are lovely, and they really bring this spark of joy and beauty to all of our neighborhoods. And during the summertime, during vacations, and even after school hours, you'll see community and family and events happening on our playgrounds. So it's really a joint effort. You know, we're in this together. It's about all of our kids in Aztec, and we just encourage folks to vote. And on behalf of Superintendent Carpenter, myself, and the whole district, I just want to thank the community of Aztec for always looking out for us and for taking care of our schools.
And again, for folks who maybe want more information about this Mill Levy election and things like that, you've got information on the website for the school district. Is that the idea?
Yes, we do, and on Facebook. And today we're going to post a table to try to just explain a little bit more and to articulate exactly how this mill levy is going to work. So we're going to post a table on our Facebook and website today.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you both for coming in to explain this to all of us about the importance of this election. I think, again, it's important that folks just get out and vote, or can't
Absolutely.
advocate one way or the other, but tell you what the money will go for and what it would cost the average homeowner in the Aztec School District, property owner, and how to get the ballots returned so that they count to the county clerk's office.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you both very much.
Thank you, Scott.
You're very welcome. My guest from the Aztec School District this morning here on KSJE. Back to talk with some elementary school principals, and I hope they haven't seen my permanent record in a very long time, but back to talk with them more in just a moment here on KSJE. The time is 8:27.